And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Ask the Visual Media Archive, introduced as usual by Nicholas.
Hello everybody, I'm Nicholas. Welcome to the Visual Media Archive. And today, I'm going to answer all your questions from all you YouTubers out there. So here we go. Christian Ward asks, what is your favourite childhood show? Well, to be honest with you, I have loads of all my favourite shows from my childhood. I remember watching a lot of shows on CBBC, CITV, Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, the Disney Channel and so on. And I remember watching a lot of programmes like Postman Pat, Fireman Sam, Pingu, Noddy, Thomas the Tank Engine, the Teletubbies, all the classics, especially the cartoons, like Hanna-Barbera cartoons, and also, and loads more. I believe my favourite childhood shows would be from children's BBC and ITV. Thomas the Tank Engine, for example. I think this is one of my absolute favourites of all time. Okay, so the second question is, what is your favourite YouTube channel? My favourite YouTube channel would have to be VHS and Story Uploader 89 Lives, because he does a great job on making the Mr. Men audio stories as fan-made, or in audio cassette form, or anything else for that matter. And I say that VHS and Story Uploader 89 and all his friends did a great job voicing the Mr. Men and Little Miss characters, I suppose. My favourite movie? That's the third question I'm going to answer. My favourite movie would be, I say any type of animated movie I like watching as a kid. Say, for instance, like all the Disney animated classics like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. What else? Pinocchio, Fantasia, Dumbo, Alice in Wonderland, Peter Pan, The Jungle Book, and so on. Even Toy Story and A Bug's Life, and of course my absolute favourite, 1939's animated version of Gulliver's Travels, produced by Max Fleischer. And the fourth question is, do you have any pets? Do I have any pets? No, not really. Well, my big brother Aristo, when he was young, he used to have pet hamsters, but not anymore, he doesn't. And I do not own a cat or a dog or anything, but even if I had a pet, I would look after it and enjoy fun times together with my pet, like taking a dog for a walk or looking after a cat or anything else for that matter. Do you think about getting a dream job? That's the fifth question. Oh yes, my dream job would be getting a job at an animation studio. Like I can work as a 2D character designer, for all the animators to see in an animation studio, I suppose. And that's about it, really, because I'm really good at making my own my own original characters by using all types of different paint programs on my computer, like Paint.net and MS Paint as well. Okay, so here we are. Next YouTube user. Okay, Zach Zilla says, "What is your opinion on the Tweenies?" My opinion on the Tweenies would be, I have to say, I think the Tweenies has to be one of my favourite shows on CBBC, also known as CBeebies, because it has a lot of sing-along songs, nursery rhymes, and of course, so much stuff to do, like the Tweenies. Well, the characters, of course, themselves, they're kind of okay to me, I suppose. It was a great show, I believe. It was one of my favourites. I remember the CD-ROM game when I was a kid, and believe it or not, my favourite was the rocket, where you have to collect the energy stars and not get hit by any 3D shapes and try to collect all the Tweenies as passengers and so on. Question number 2. Do you love Japanese anime? I love anime too, as well as J-pop music. Well, so do I. I love Japanese anime myself. You know, I really, really enjoy watching Japanese anime for some reason, and two of my favourite Japanese animated shows of all time would be Pokemon and Digimon, of course, especially Sailor Moon. What are your thoughts about both Horrid Henry and the Cramp Twins? Well, Horrid Henry, it was an okay show for me on CITV. I used to watch these episodes a lot on CITV when I was a kid. And the Cramp Twins, well, it used to be on Cartoon Network, I believe. I watched a few episodes of them, but, well, they used to be on CBBC as well, but, well, actually, I'm not quite, well, to be honest, I never watched any of the Cramp Twins episodes, but the Horrid Henry ones, they were okay. And the Cramp Twins, well, it was a bit to me, but if you like the Cramp Twins, then that's good for you. You keep doing you, mate. Fourth question is, do you actually remember the Disney Videos piracy copy promo? Well, yes I do. I remember that on VHS tapes a lot when I was a kid. And you had the Federation Against Copyright Theft, all that sort of thing. The comparisons between the pirated copy and the actual Disney copy, I suppose. Fifth question. I really love Sailor Moon and Garfield so much. Do you love them too? Well, yes, I remember Garfield and Friends a long time ago. I watched all the episodes and I do remember Sailor Moon. And believe it or not, Sailor Moon is quite one of the best ever magical girl anime shows of all time. Moving on to the next user, and we have Kickety Kickball, who has got 5 questions for me. The first question is, have you gotten any copyright strikes, claims and blocks? Well, believe it or not, I did receive 3 copyright strikes on my old YouTube account, which was Cartoonian Memories back in the 2nd of April 2021. And then I had another YouTube channel called the Cartoonian Video Network, which also got copyright strikes and then got terminated in 2021 in the same year, perhaps. And in October of 2022, my old YouTube account, Cartoonian World, got terminated again because of the reasons why I've uploaded the episodes of O Paramithas. As if you didn't know, it was a Greek children's TV show from 1978, hosted by Nikos Pelavios, because ERT, the Hellenic Radio and Television company in Greece, still owns the rights of O Paramithas, also known as Mr. Storyteller, of course. So I had to open a new YouTube account on the 9th of November 2022 until I've uploaded my first YouTube video on the 1st of April 2023, which was an April Fool's joke, and was a pilot episode of my cancelled animation project, RoboGal, because it was my answer to Astro Boy, one of the very first Japanese cartoons of all time created by Osamu Tezuka. Now, moving on, we have the second question. What is your favourite VHS tape DVD you remembered watching growing up? Well, I believe it would have to be the greatest BBC children's video ever from 1995. However, it was one of my all-time favourites. And I do remember Fun Song Factory Nursery Rhyme Land from 1997, which was also one of the first Fun Song Factory tapes of all time, and I used to love it. It was very good. And also the 1982 Longman video version of Nursery Rhymes, apparently. Good old childhood memories. And also Pingu, the biggest video ever on VHS, my absolute favourite. And I also remember the Greek-dubbed Bolek and Lolek VHS tape, which had the Wild West cartoon in it. And moving on, we have question number 3. Do you play Freaky Forms Deluxe? No. I never played any of that. But I do remember playing a lot of Nintendo, Sega and PlayStation games like Super Mario, Pokemon, Sonic the Hedgehog, Crash Bandicoot, Spyro the Dragon, Croc, The Legend of Gobbos, Croc, Legend of the Gobbos, and so on. Mario, Sonic, anything really. Even Donkey Kong, perhaps. And also Vib Ribbon, one of my absolute favourites on the PlayStation. Number 4, were videotapes of the Pondles rare, and how many people got them? Well, actually there was only, there's 2 of us. There's me and Kickity Kickball, and, I had only one Pondles episode from a VHS called Toddler's Telly Treats, and Kickity Kickball, I know you have one Pondles VHS tape which has about, 3 episodes, I suppose. Number 5. What was your favourite CBeebies Flash game? No, it's really hard to remember. I can't remember now. Anyways, moving on. Thomas Johnson has 5 questions for me, and he says, will you upload the stuff I said about Foxbusters, Chicken Minute, TV show 90s, Writing and Pictures, 1999, BBC Schools, Dynamo, or other stuff? No, not really. I'm not interested. And once again, I do not take requests. But anyways, thanks for the offering, I believe. 2. Have you found any old rare cartoons of foxes or wolves or whatever? No, not really. I'm not sure. But anyway. 3. Will you put Robbie the Reindeer for winter? Nah, not really. I'm not sure. To be honest, if I upload that onto YouTube, I might get either a copyright claim or a copyright strike or copyright block for some reason. So, you know what I'm saying. 4. How old are you? Well, actually, I am 27, to be honest. That was when I had my 27th birthday on the 9th of March. It was great. I had a nice walk with my family out to Windsor Great Park, and we had a nice lunch at the Intoku restaurant inside the Windsor train station, and it was fantastic. So yeah, I was born on the 9th of March 1998 in the UK where I live. Now, the 5th question is, what are your hobbies? I think my favourite hobbies would be, drawing characters on my computer, the original ones, of course. What else? There's I also enjoy going for swimming. I also enjoy going for walks with my family. I also go shopping at car boot sales and charity shops as well. I also enjoy doing a lot of reading, reading a lot of books, of course. I also enjoy playing video games. I also like hanging out with my friends on Facebook Messenger, and of course, and Instagram as well, and the list goes on forever. That's all. Okay, so the Sudrian 0A. Never mind. I don't know what. I can't say that word. But anyway, the Sudriana 016 says, here's my 5 questions for you. Number 1, favourite Thomas characters and episodes. Well, my favourite characters would have to be... my favourite Thomas characters would have to be Thomas, Percy, James, Toby, and of course Gordon, Henry, Bill and Ben, and what else? The Troublesome Trucks, Scruffy, Cranky the Crane, Bulstrode the Barge, and so many more. All of the characters I like, except for the characters from Big World, Big Adventures and All Engines Go, I believe. I never, ever watched any of these shows. And the episodes, well, let's just say that my favourite episode of Thomas and Friends, I think one of my favourite episodes of Thomas and Friends in the 5th series would have to be A Better View for Gordon. And my favourite part is when something has jammed in Gordon's, cab, I suppose, because the driver reduced steam, but Gordon was still going too fast until he crashed into the station, making a hole in it, and Gordon was like, "Help me, please!" That was my absolute favourite. The station crash joke was my absolute favourite. So, here's number 2. Thoughts on Thomas's spin-offs / related shows like Tugs, Theodore Tugboat, Shining Time Station, and Mumphy. Oh, to be honest with you, my thoughts on it, I think Tugs has to be a sister series of Thomas the Tank Engine, and believe it or not, I believe well, I'm not sure. I don't know really. And Theodore Tugbo's Shining Time Station. Well, Shining Time Station has to be one of the first shows to have Thomas the Tank Engine brought to the United States. And believe it or not, I prefer the UK narrated version of Series 1 and 2 done by Ringo Starr in Thomas the Tank Engine, as well as Series 3 to 5 narrated by Michael Angelis, I suppose. So, and as for Mumphy the Elephant, well, needless to say, I believe the traditionally animated version of Mumphy looks absolutely fantastic, like as if it were a Disney cartoon, for example. And it looks amazing. 3. Underrated shows you liked that were not entirely released on home media. Well, let's just say that the most obscure CITV shows in the late 90s and early 2000s would have to be Teddy Bears, for example, because Teddy Bears was a live-action children's show which is much similar to the Teletubbies, and Teddy Bears would have gotten itself a DVD and Blu-ray released by Fabulous Films UK, most notably, I suppose. And let's not forget Zap the television comic, which is one of the best 90s CITV shows of all time, which should have been released onto DVD and Blu-ray. All 10 series on DVD. Favourite movies? On question number 4, well, as I've said before, that's all I can say. And number 5, favourite singers. My favourite singers would have to be Bing Crosby, Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, Sammy Davis Jr., and what else? Oh yeah, Ed Sheeran, my absolute favourite. And Dick Robertson, and loads of others. And that's all I can say. So, thank you all for watching my video, and I'll see you in the next video. And make sure you put 5 questions on each. And, well, I say 5 different YouTubers can put 5 comments. 5 YouTubers will put 5 questions on my video. So make sure you leave 5 questions on my video, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now, and take care.